Okay, now my student, here we are proceeding looking on the structure of the mammalian lungs. And whereby in the mammalian lungs, we have seen that we have several parts. We have trachea, we have the bronchi, we have bronchioles, we have alveolar duct, we have alveoli. All of those, they constitute or they formulate the structure of the mammalian lungs. And also within it, we have seen that within the trachea, we have a goblet cells, ndio ambayo inasaidia production of the mucus, hence trapping of any germs or dust or bacteria that might enter with the air. So also we can say that it is moistening, it's also moistening the air that passes down the alveoli. So ile mucus ambayo inabi produced pia inasaidia to moistening the air. Ile hewa inakuwa na hali ya unyevunyevu, inatakiwa ingie ndani ya alveoli ikiwa na hali ya unyevunyevu. So that moistening condition, where is it come from? It comes from the mucus that is produced by the goblet cell. But also the trachea branches and its lower ends into two bronchi. So now at the end of the trachea ndipo ambapo sasa panakuwa na matawi mawili. Lile tawi sasa lililogawanyika kutoka kwenye trachea ndio tunaita bronchi. Yakiwa mawili tunaita bronchus. So like a trachea, other bronchus has cartilage and the ciliated epithelium with the goblet cell that play a crucial role of trapping dusty and bacteria. So zile contents ambazo zinapatikana ndani ya trachea pia ziko sawa na zile contents ambazo zinapatikana ndani ya hile bronchus. Kwa maana kwamba ndani ya bronchus also there is a presence of the cartilage, but also there is a presence of the ciliated epithelium composed of a goblet cells which are involved in the production of a mucus which help to trap any dust, any germs, and any kind of bacteria that might enter with the air. So also we can say that each bronchus divides into many smaller tubes called known as the bronchioles. Kwa pia na ile structure ya bronchus pia na yenyewe imegawanyika. Ukitoka kwenye hile bronchus kuna structure nyingine inayoitwa bronchiole. So now we can say that they have a cartilage, cilia, and the goblet cell that work similarly as the trachea and the bronch. So they trap foreign dust chemicals. The purpose of branching of these parts of the of the lungs in order for filtration of a clear air to enter within the alveoles. Kwa sababu within the alveoles we don't need any kind of dust. So as the air it is passing through those branches ndipo ambapo inaendelea kuchujwa zaidi. Kama patakuwa na dust ambayo itakuwa ili remain labda au microorganism aliingia accidentally hakuweza ku be trapped within the trachea or within a bronchi. So these bronchioles will work upon that bacteria and it will kill it. Kwa sababu ikiingia kule ndani ya alveoli inaweza kusababisha matatizo makubwa zaidi. So that are the roles of branching of these tubes. And also we can say that the bronchioles branch into very fine tubes that is called the alveolar ducts, and into alveolar sacs, and each alveolar sacs open into a into a group of the alveoli. So what does that mean? Here we have seen that baada sasa ya hili structure ambayo inaitwa bronchioles be branched also into a fine tube. Kwa maana kwamba panakuwa na fine tube zile zinazopatikana pale ni ndogo zaidi. So what are the function of that fine tube? So hizo fine tube baadaye zitaenda kutengeneza hizi alveolar ducts, ita end into alveolar sacs. Hii alveolar sacs ita open into a group of the alveoli. And within the alveoli is where now there is a gaseous exchange it's occur there. So and also we can say that the alveolar ducts, alveolar sacs, and alveoli do not possess cartilage cilia, and goblet cells. The thing that you have to note and to keep it into your mind. Kuanzia kwenye hile structure ya alveolar ducts, alveolar sacs, together with the alveoli, they do not possess the cartilage. So meaning that the cartilage, goblet cells, cilia, and so on, they are found within the bronchioles and other parts. But starting from the alveolar duct up to the last part, which is called the alveoli, there is no possession of the cartilage. There is no possession of the cilia and the goblet cell. And that is. But here we are saying that the alveoles possess the feature that allows it to function in a special way compared to other structure part of the lungs. So hile structure ambayo inapatikana within the lungs ambayo tunaita alveolus. Kwa kuwa haina zile structure ambazo tumesema cartilage together with the goblet and so on. It has its own structure. Hizo structure ndizo ambazo zinasaidia hii goblet cell kufanya kazi vizuri zaidi. So now here you can see special structure when you compare them to the structure party of the lungs. So now let's start discussing on the alveolus or alveolus. So this one is the alveolus is the thin air-filled sac of a mammalian lung. Ni vipo vidogo vidogo sana, just a bubble-like structure, which are found at the end of the alveolus, alveolar duct. So now this one, ndizo ambazo tunasema kwamba ambapo tunasema gaseous exchange takes place in the alveolus, and actually it is functional unity of the lungs. Why is it functional unity of the lungs? Is due to all process of the gaseous exchange. They takes place within this small structure or this thin structure, which is called the alveolus. So also we can say that the estimated total amount of the alveoli in the average human is about 700 million. That has total surface area of about 80 square meters, which facilitates the rate of the gaseous exchange. So now, students, you can even see this part, which is called the alveoli, it has a large surface area compared to the rest of the parts which are involved in the gaseous exchange in the lungs. So now you can see it have about 80 square meters. But they are found about 700 millions within the lungs. And also, these alveoli are thin, moist, and are well supplied with a dense capillary network. Hence, they are highly adapted to efficient gaseous exchange. If you can remember the features of the respiratory surfaces, we have said that in any respiratory surfaces, they should have the thin structure. Apart from the thin structure, but also that structure should have a moisture. Kunatakiwa kuwe na unyevu. And also it must be supplied with a blood vessel. That is, we are talking about the network of the capillaries. Kwa ajili ya kuchukua ile oxygen kusupply into a tissue where there is a demand. But also we can say that in the process of gaseous exchange, oxygen gas from the alveoli diffuse quickly across the alveolar wall through the air-blood barrier into the blood capillaries and carried to the heart through pulmonary vein. So now, simply, we can say that hii process nzima ya gaseous exchange takes place within the alveoli. But we are saying that it diffuses quickly across the alveolar wall through the blood barrier into the blood capillaries and carries to the heart through the pulmonary vein. So now ukiangalia ile blood circulation, it is connected directly to the lungs. Kwa sababu gani? Inaenda kuchukua ile oxygenated blood, then be pumped by the heart, iende kutumika kwenye several tissue ambapo panakuwa na demand of the oxygen. We know that in our body we have high demand of oxygen, since our body inahitaji oxygen ili iweze kutengeneza chakula and so on, tengeneza energy and so on. But now, my student, let's see this figure which shows the structure of the mammalian lungs associated with the alveoli and the blood vessels during the gaseous exchange. Now you can see, my student, this one is the lungs. Now this structure of the lungs we have already seen. So now this one is the structure of the mammalian lungs, but within it there is a structure which is called the alveolus. No, at the tip of it there is alveoli. So this alveoli ukikata ndipo ambapo utaiona kwenye huu muundo. So now it is well supplied with the blood vessels. So now you can see this one are the capillary, this red and this purplish color. Yeah, all of them, they are bloody vessels, but also all blood capillary network. So now oxygen leaves the alveoli and enter the blood vessels or blood capillaries to be used in several tissues, but also carbon dioxide leaves the blood capillaries and enter to the alveoli. So this one is the structure of the alveoli. So this one red, the pulmonary vein, but this one is the pulmonary artery. You know the function of pulmonary vein and the pulmonary artery. So my student, that is the structure of the pulmonary artery, the structure of the alveoli, and how is it involved in the process of gaseous exchange. So I promise you, my student, in the next part will be very fantastic, because we're going to see how does a gas exchange within the alveoli. Is where now we're going to discover, to discuss in general. So now, my student, let's end here. So thank you very much for following us, Educare TZ, and bye-bye. Have a nice moment.